As of this chapter, I feel like I'm going to be very depressed. Now, I'm not one of those idiots who are just drop a series because one of the characters I liked dies or disappears or whatever. I mean, I got through the whole carrot situation. I feel some kind of way about that, but hey, life goes on. But man, I was really hoping Atlas was gonna live. I mean, look, the chapter is titled after her. I had hoped that maybe because we had that scare when she faced off against Rob Lucci, maybe that would be the end of it. Cool. Hey, worst of the worst already happened. But no, I thought, hey, she's with Luffy. It would be shocking if all of this happened and she was still with Luffy and died. And then she flew off. And my money was kind of on Lilith, all things considered. Because, she was over there. But then again, she was also with Zoro, and it was kind of hard to see her dying in the presence of Zoro. But I could see Atlas deciding to sacrifice herself, which is a bummer. Kaku has told Stussy to go on, get out of here. I don't want you anymore, like a dog out in the woods. But he knows that should Stussy stick around with him, Lucci will kill her, and if not Lucci, someone else. Luffy's combined efforts with Bonnie, Sanji, and Frankie to get Mars out of there was absolutely hilarious, and York told the Five Elders the only way to stop Vegapunk's message is to destroy the Denden Mushi inside the Iron Giant. And considering that Iron Giant, whose name is Emmett, rolled up out of the ocean, stopping Mercury from destroying the giant warrior ship, breaking off one of its tusks with a mighty iron punch, easier said than done. Although its conversation with Joy Boy is fascinating, because Joy Boy talked about a time being right, which is very interesting. He also had Jupiter spitting out the Cypherpole agents and Seraphins toward the Marine ship. So I guess the Seraphim are with the Marines now. And when Jupiter tried to do his good hard suck on the giant warrior ship, which caused Mercury to go into action too, Luffy ended up fighting with him, but is now busy dealing with the worm. Usually you gotta get a bottle of tequila to have to deal with that problem, but here we are. So, preemptively, rest in peace, Atlas. I'll get a figure of you later and cry over it. Look, it's not that I don't like Lilith, but man, out of process of elimination, she's gonna be my favorite Vegapunk, because what's the other option? York? The moment York proved to be evil, it's just like, yeah, I ain't touching that one. So, let's see this chapter where another Vegapunk probably bites the dust, shall we? Alright, One Piece chapter 1120. Atlas. And it looks like Dendro has rounded up the kids who are messing with Yamato. And it looks like the kids are still trying to throw rocks at Yamato too. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest. Surrogate Pilgrimage Volume 10. Dendro, Daimyo of Kibi, sentences the children. I doubt he's sentencing them to death, but I kind of figured that Yamato was going to try to win the kids over or something. I mean, it still kind of looks like they might. Alright, 26 years ago, Punk Hazard. Oh, is that Clover? Wild. And I think it's Clover saying, wow, it's weird to see Punk Hazard still a lush forest. Clover says, Vegapunk, please. Please, Vegapunk. You simply must study the Void Century with us. There is a darkness there too deep for the world to leave unaddressed. Is some kind of giant peeking over the wall of Punk Hazard? One of the numbers maybe? Oh, and he's got that dragon who Zoro cut the head off of, I think? Is that what's sitting next to him or something else? Clover says, the more we study it, the more we require expertise in other fields. Vegapunk tells him, as you can see, I am a government scientist now. I cannot give you any data. How many times have you been arrested by now? They know exactly where to find you. Surely you know why they continue to allow you to live. It's because they're biding their time until they can round up and wipe out all of your friends. Pull back now. So what of the darkness? One cannot measure the good and evil of the past. To a certain degree, it's true. It tends to be a little bit subjective in certain situations. Clover sits down. Man, Clover was back in the day looked like a badass. Clover says, I once saw a man with the name of D killed right before my eyes without warning. A man I was born and raised with. What? My older brother? What? My true name is D. Clover. Cloud Clover? Claude D. Clover. What the hell? Did Robin know about this? No, but another D. And I only survived because I lied. And he tells the people who gunned down his brother, he's a friend. Clover tells Vegapunk, how is it right that a person can die simply for declaring the name they were given at birth. There is a secret history whose traces are continually erased, and that explains why Clover was so hell-bent on researching this. But Vegapunk turns away from him, saying, I will not help you with this, and I'll forget what you just said. The most I can do is tell you to be careful. Clover calls out to Vegapunk, saying, I will solve this mystery someday. The voices of the past will be heard. Cut to 22 years ago. Oh God, Caesar is overjoyed, saying, did you hear about O'Hara in the West Blue? They're going to place a buster call on it. Vegapunk is shocked, and a delighted Caesar says, ooh, I wish I could see the slaughter unfold. It's Clover the archaeologist. They've finally caught him by the toe now. Now no one will dare study the Void Century again. It's a perfect example to scare them all off. Clover stays silent, Vegapunk stays silent, thinking of Clover's words. His begs, please, Vegapunk. We then see Vegapunk holding up Robin's wanted poster. I guess Caesar says, they say a single child escaped alive. And as we cut to Vegapunk mourning the loss, looking over the lake of books, he thinks, surely you had time to escape, Clover. But as Vegapunk sees the books and begins to cry, he thinks, did all of you die just to preserve this vast store of text for the future? It's preposterous. What lunatic would dare risk certain death to continue your research? Cut to the present day, where Vegapunk has done just that. As his message says, someone once said that the voices of the past will be heard. History is told by the winner, and the voices of the losers at the bottom of the sea are so very faint. But the truth that we gleaned at the cost of so much sacrifice has at last been told to the world just now. It's interesting. We cut to Zeph and Patty listening intently. Tequila Wolf still with the bridge construction. Robin probably remembering Clover's words, holding back tears. She's aboard the Sunny, I'm realizing. Meanwhile, outside the Sunny, Zoro yells out, hey, what are you doing? Shoot us off. Lilith says, no, you're not going yet. Zoro shouts, that horse grunt is going to attack us again. Lilith tells him, and that's exactly why we can't leave. I understand that your ship can accelerate to fly a distance of 1 kilometer, but if he manages to reduce the run-up speed at all, your horizontal projection distance drop. It's a northward wind that'll reduce your lift, and according to my calculations, the ship will crash on hard ground without reaching the water, as long as you don't get rid of that old geezer. And we see Ethan Baron Venusjuro getting ready to take another swipe at the ship. Suddenly, a figure appears behind Lilith, and as she turns going, Atlas just beats her down, slamming her into the ground. Jeez. As the others call out to Lilith, Zoro questions, I keep saying Sanji for some reason. Usopp and Chopper call out, Atlas? Why did you do that to Lilith? As Atlas pants heavily, she seems to adjust something behind Lilith. Yep, here it is. She turns to them, saying, take care of Lilith. Fly. I'll remove the obstacle. Everyone questions, Usopp says, what do you mean? Meanwhile, York gets a read on something, saying, Lilith's access just shorted out. Only Atlas is left. It was to make it seem like Lilith was offline. Nami says, take Lilith inside, Zoro. Zoro says, all right. And as she says, wait, Atlas, explain. Atlas flies out to meet Ethan and cut him off at the pass. Jinbei takes the helm, saying, let's get going. Chopper says, what? Are you sure, Jinbei? Jinbei says, we'll regret it if we're too slow to act. Zoro calls out, hit it, Brook. And Brook does just that, saying, as you wish. Coup de? And as Atlas flies out to meet Ethan Baron, he cuts off her arm. But Atlas ignores it, ramming into Ethan, moving him out of the way. As Brook calls out bursts, the Sunny launches, with everyone hanging on as tightly as they can. Vegapunk's message continues, saying, I can only pray that this message has made it safely out to the world at large. Meanwhile, at the coast, where the Iron Giant has beaten down Warcury, everyone watches from the ships, saying, whoa, what happened to Vice Admiral Hound? That huge boar, the snake, the bird, the robot. Oh, what's happening, Vice Admiral Hound? Hound says, I don't get it. I didn't hear about any of this. Meanwhile, Luffy is freaking out, saying, giant robot. Meanwhile, Sanji, Frankie, and the Giants are freaking out, saying, "Is that an Iron Giant?" As Luffy completely ignores Jupiter and looks towards the robot, I guess, telepathically says, "Joy Boy, I'm so happy I get to see you again." Luffy pauses and then turns, questioning, like, "Who are you talking to?" And the robot says, "I'm talking to you." Vegapunk's message continues on, saying, "It would be foolish to hear about a war 900 years in the past from only one side." The Iron Giant steps forward, confronting Workery and Jupiter, with him saying, "You go ahead. Your enemy is my enemy. Oh, I'm so happy. I get to fight for you again, Joy Boy." And Luffy just says, "This is amazing. You can talk." Emmett says, "Joy Boy is in danger. I must protect him." Workery, confronting Emmett, says, "It seems we cannot end Vegapunk's speech," while Jupiter says, "Unless we shatter this thing to pieces." As Luffy heads back to the giant warrior ship, Dory and Brogy raise their weapons, with Dory saying, "Get the ship moving." Brogy adds, "Is that thing on our side, Straw Hat?" Luffy says, "Well, it says it wants to protect someone named Joy Boy. Who's that?" Brogy questions, "It's saying something? I don't hear it." Luffy says, "What? You don't?" Meanwhile, Bluegrass, still in her little kid form, says, "Don't let them sail away. Fire!" The Marines say, "Yes, ma'am," and fire upon the giant warrior ship. But, their cannonballs are so little compared to the ship. It's barely doing anything. Vegapunk's message continues, saying, "History requires a multifaceted approach to understand entirely. If only I had more time on my side. Alas, there are forces outside of my ability to stop." Jupiter then roars, going towards the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant, Emmett, raises up his arm, using his other arm to brace it. Frankie and Sanji freak out, saying, "It's winding up. It's going to shoot something." But nothing comes out. Emmett thinks, "Huh?" Luffy freaks out, saying, "What?" While Sanji and Frankie say, "Look out, robot." It's all Emmett can do to stop Jupiter from biting him clean through, but he does manage to bite off his left arm and a bit of his shoulder. Luffy says, "No, Robo!" While Frankie says, "That's a 900-year-old weapon. Of course it doesn't work anymore." Suddenly, Saint Saturn arrives on the scene, racing forward, saying, "Crush it between your jaws, Peter. Stop that transmission." And Saturn then bounds off of Jupiter. And manages to get onto the giant warrior ship. Oh crap. As he manages to land on the figurehead and the warriors ready themselves, Saturn says, "You're not going anywhere. Kuma, Bonnie." Bonnie stands in shock. But then Sanji notices something, saying, "Huh? It's the Sunny. And is that?" The Sunny launches off. Zoro on the Sunny says, "Hang on tight, going down." Wait a second, are we even going to make it? And as Atlas is facing off against Ethan Baron, he questions, "You would sacrifice yourself?" And as he manages to cut into Atlas again, she smiles, saying, "Nope, extra service on the house." He explodes, launching the Sunny even further forward. The ones on the Sunny say, "That's it, we're going to make it." Usopp and Chopper cry as Usopp says, "What was that? You can't end like this, Atlas." York cheers, saying, "Atlas is gone. Now the only Dr. Vegapunk left in the world is little old me." Ethan Baron Venusjero reforms himself, saying, "No, not yet." While Saturn says, "Not while the Stella continues to babble on." Jupiter and Workery race forward, and Jupiter saying, "Yes, of course." While Workery says, "We'll stop it at once." Emmett then says, "Uh-oh. I'm all rusty. Joy Boy, you said when the time is right to think discount. I'm gonna use it, okay?" Uh-oh. She gonna self-destruct or something? Vegapunk's message continues on, saying, 25 years ago, the pirate Gold D. Roger completed an unprecedented tour of the entire world, and what he and his crew heard were likely the purest voices of the past. In conclusion, as I'm sure you've all surmised by now, my view of the future is this." Meanwhile, the prisoners in Impel Down, or I guess somewhere, question, "Wait, what? What does he mean, Gold D?" Oh, right, they only know him as Gold Roger. So much crap happened in this chapter, it is wild. Finding out that Clover was also a D, which brings into question, was there any others that we're maybe not aware of? Vegapunk seems to think he survived, but did he? Atlas sacrificed herself, but she went out in spectacular fashion, and she was even smart enough to make sure that Lilith was out so that York wouldn't know about her presence. So so Lilith is still out there. It could cause some problems. I wonder, will Lilith maybe join the revolutionaries? I could see that. Kind of do what Vegapunk didn't do at the beginning. And Emmett and Luffy are communicating through the voice of all things that no one else can hear. Interesting. And Luffy's just like, who the heck is Joy Boy? And because the Giants I don't think the Giants would know the name Joy Boy. They only know Nika. Interesting. Saturn has made it to the ship. Is Emmett gonna explode or something? Or is there something else that he has in store? And not to mention now, the Gold D Roger has been revealed to the world. The only other people who knew that were people close to Roger and Kureha for some reason. Still don't know why she knew that. Then again, she might have met Roger at some point. He told it to pretty much anyone who'd listen. They keep calling me Gold Roger. No, my name's Gold D Roger. I'm still bummed that Atlas died, but Atlas kind of went out like a G, so I'll accept it. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.